There are 5 things you can start right now to feel rich. And you don't need massive amounts of money to do that. Number 1, put $500 into your wallet right now and put it into a separate part, so not where you keep the rest of the money that you spend on a daily basis. So keep it separate and don't spend it. Why you should do that? Well, you learn to be comfortable around money. You also learn to trust yourself with money because you won't spend it. And because that's quite an amount of money, it also creates that sense of abundance. It sends the message to your subconscious that you have money and that it is safe with you. And I mean, also in case you do need it, you have something in reserve. But if you have to spend it because maybe there was no other way, I do recommend to refill it afterwards immediately. If $500 is not that much for you, please put $1,000. Or if you don't have the $500 right now, start with $100 and then fill it up as quickly as you can. Also, I want to note this is a daily practice, so in your everyday life you should do that. Of course, when you travel to countries or areas with a high rate of pickpocketing, then for safety reasons you should take it out and only take what you need. Number 2 is practice gratitude. Be thankful for what you already have, because that shifts your perspective from lack to abundance. By that, it helps improving your money mindset, and it also can boost motivation for your financial goals. That is when you become aware of what you already have, it's more likely that you keep going. And by practicing gratitude, you also focus on the good things in your life. By that, it nourishes positive emotions, and also gratitude acts as the opposite of fear. It has been found that in general, it reduces symptoms of stress and anxiety. And in the case of personal finances, this can be the fear when it comes to losing money or to not having enough or even become greedy. I practice gratitude every day. I do it by writing in my journal, and that is one way to do it, to just journal. Other ways would be to think about at least 3 things that you are grateful for right before you get out of bed in the morning. You could also use a gratitude app, and I think what's also a nice way is to write thank you letters for other people. And yes, gratitude practice is not just good for your finances, but also for all other areas in your life. By cultivating these positive emotions, it can make you more calm and also more balanced in your relationships. It can increase how happy you are with work. It even improves your health. It has shown to improve the immune system, leads to better sleep, and also to better mental health. I do recommend to do it regularly. And if you're new to this, it might be difficult in the beginning to find something you're thankful for. So here are some examples. When it comes to your finances, you can be thankful for your wealth, for your job, for your home. And it doesn't matter if you're living in the 1-room rental flat or your own villa. What matters is that you have a roof over your head. You can also be thankful for all the knowledge about finances that is out there for you to use. In general, you can also be thankful for things about yourself, like your health, your strength, your resilience, your determination. You can be thankful for other things you have in your life, like your friends and your family. And you can also be thankful for things in the world. This can be very little things like the sun shining or the birds chirping, and also things like living in times of peace, hopefully where you are. Number 3 is change your language. Language is a very powerful tool, and it is something that you can start right away, even though it might take you some time and also some practice to really master it. That is what you say to others about them. It's what you say to others about yourself. And it's also what you say to yourself about yourself. So your self-talk and your thinking. When it comes to money, for example, instead of saying, I cannot afford this, this does have a component of it will never be different or it will always be like this. And it puts you in a kind of passive position. Instead, what you can say is, I don't want to afford this. Because that then is an active decision that you make. So you are responsible. You have the power. You can also focus more on the solution than on the problem. To stay with this example, to say, I cannot afford this is more of a statement. But to maybe put it into a question and ask, how can I afford this? This then requires an answer, and it empowers you to change something about it. You can also ask, what steps can I take to improve my financial situation? This puts you in a place of action, so you take responsibility. You say to yourself, I am responsible for my financial decisions. You also should avoid negative words. Negative words are things like I cannot, never, impossible, because they lead to a negative mindset and to this thinking that it's always going to be like this. Then also please use more self-compassionate language. Like, instead of beating yourself up that something didn't work in the beginning, say to yourself that I am doing my best and I can learn from this experience. Also here, you can turn it into a question again. What can I make different the next time? In general, formulating something as a question instead of a statement can be a very powerful thing. And you can and should also celebrate financial achievements, no matter how small they are. Be proud of what you achieved, and by celebrating, even if it's just with words, you are rewarding yourself, and what's rewarded gets repeated. That is how habits are formed. One example could be to just say, I did good in this situation today. Or, yes, I reached a milestone today. I think you should always celebrate milestones. Number 4 is give money to charity. This also creates an abundance mindset because it communicates that you have something to give. In contrast to scarcity, which is I don't have enough to give to other people. And it really doesn't matter how much it is, you can give any amount. And it can also be just one time instead of, for example, each month. Although I do recommend to do it on a regular basis. Now, obviously, giving money to charity has other benefits too. It gives you this sense of purpose and fulfillment. It just contributes to making a difference in the world, to the better. And it's also being a part of something larger than just yourself and your wealth or your money. And that way, again, it has a positive impact on your money mindset because it shows you that money creates something good. And also being generous and staying generous is very important on our path to wealth because generosity is a counterbalance to greed and to stinginess. And there are even studies that indicate that spending on others makes you happier than spending on your own. And number 5 is declutter. And by that I mean decluttering your home and your workspace, and if needed, also your digital space and your personal finances. Now, why does decluttering help us feel rich? The thing is that physical clutter and also other kinds of clutter translate to mental clutter. And then when you create space in your environment, you also create space in your mind. And creating space in your environment can either mean to just give everything its place, its own place, or it can also mean to get rid of stuff. And by that you make room for clear thinking and for positive thinking, and again we create this abundance mindset. And decluttering also reduces stress, and by that creates a calmer mind. And there's a documentary from Marie Kondo on Netflix that shows this very nicely. She has this step-by-step process on how to declutter, and she does that process with several households, and you can literally see the change, not just physically but also mentally. It's very impressive stories. And decluttering also helps you to prioritize and to focus on what really matters, because there are just less distractions. That can affect your decision making in a positive way. It also makes you more productive and it makes you more creative. Now, decluttering for your finances can mean to just organize your financial documents. It also can mean to simplify your financial structure depending on how many, for example, accounts you have or how many credit cards you have. And if it's just a very complicated structure, then it's harder for you to keep the overview. So reducing the structure to the minimum you need can really help for clarity. And particularly for feeling rich, what you can do is, especially if you have many low quality items, you can replace them with very few but high quality items. That can also help transform your identity. For example, when you were a student and you bought a lot of things cheap or even got them for free, but now you have a high paying job, this should reflect in your surroundings. And it also should reflect on your clothes. And one more tip here is don't keep things that are broken. Because in Feng Shui, which is all about designing space and clearing space to let the energy flow, there is the saying that when you keep broken things, it also makes you feel broken inside. So it kind of sends the message to your subconscious that you are not worthy of something whole. So don't use anything broken, no broken porcelain, and also no torn or broken clothes. And now that you have implemented all the steps to feel rich, you also might have to get rid of some spending habits that stay between you and your wealth. For that, you can check out this video next. Thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you there. Bye bye.